We've done more for, and I say this, I say it proudly, more for the black population than any president since Abraham Lincoln. That's a big statement. But we achieved the lowest African-American unemployment rate and the lowest African-American poverty rate ever recorded during my 4 years.
Nope. None of that is true, no matter how many times Trump says it. The lowest black unemployment rate and black poverty rate have both come during President Biden's term, not Trump's. Joining me now are Basil Smikle, Democratic strategist and MSNBC political analyst, and Judd Legum, author of Popular Information. I'm going to give you the first crack at this, Basil. Your thoughts on the Trump at Black Church moment?
Devious and deceptive that he would airbrush black people into his political event like that, especially when the audience itself is not black. I have no words for that because I don't know who actually really does it for Donald Trump. On Detroit specifically, I just want to say, I have friends who are architects and urban planners in that great city, and they talk a lot about how block by block they're bringing arts and culture and economic development to the city of Detroit, which reminds me of all the things that Donald Trump says about whether it's Detroit or Milwaukee, Washington, D.C., or the Bronx, where I grew up. What is the connective tissue when he badmouths those cities? It's that they're black-led cities, that they're majority black vote. He uses that as a dog whistle, obviously, and it angers me because what he doesn't do, and a lot of conservatives do not do, is talk about what government has done for generations to create the kind of conditions in those cities that he is now sort of trying to talk about. They don't talk about that, nor do they ever talk about the people on the ground who are not passive in all of this. Black and brown people who are not at all passive and are actually trying to and have success in building some of these neighborhoods back. I've seen it in the Bronx. Folks come and go. It's like popcorn, but it is performative. It's insulting, and I really hope folks don't go for the okie doke because that's really what it is.
Well, the other piece of it, to stay with you just for a moment, is that there is, I call it blackstro-turfing at this point, right? Like they're literally trying to create this fake grassroots movement. And part of it is around trying to lure people in with cash and say, hey, look, we're going to dangle this Trump money at you. Let me let you listen to Mr. Sewell, Reverend Sewell, on Friday. He went right on Fox and got his star turn. Here he is on Fox talking about an economic plan for the black community.
He laid out an agenda. Can't remember any president, quite frankly, that ever laid out an agenda for Black America. Our former president, he put together an agenda called the Platinum Plan, and those numbers are approximately $500 billion to disseminate to Black businesses, Black churches, to be able to help the least of these. And those metrics matter to us.
Wrong. That's Ice Cube that created that, Basil. It's an Ice Cube plan. He's now attributing it to Trump to try to sell black people on the idea that Trump has an economic plan for black folks. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, a couple of things. One, just because you're around black people doesn't mean you know black people. And he has this tendency to surround himself with a lot of celebrities, thinking that we, like he, is transactional. That's not how this goes. That's not how this goes. But he surrounds himself with folks, with whether it's pastors or celebrities or others, where he thinks he puts a little money their way or tries to give them a kind of access and think that alone is going to drive black people to the polls. We saw that when he started talking about his sneakers that he was selling, for crying out loud. It is incredibly insulting and reductive. And we know and I'll just say this very quickly on the economics. If you look at the Heritage Fund's Project 2025, that's everything you need to know economically about what he's going to do for black people, from cradle to career.
Indeed. Let me get Judd in here, because you've got a new piece out. Because the other piece of this manufacturing consent is trying to get people to believe visuals that aren't real and trying to get people to believe ideas that aren't real. And now that's not just being laundered through Fox. It's also going through your Traffic and Weather Together. Tell me your update on what Sinclair is doing.
Yes, Sinclair Broadcast Group, which has almost 200 affiliates branded, NBC, CBS, and all sorts of other affiliates. They're pushing through their websites information that was originally put out there by the Republican National Committee through their Twitter account, now X, basically deceptively clipping video to make it seem like Biden is freezing, or in some cases they're claiming he's soiling himself, and then taking these, wrapping them up as if they are news articles and distributing them to every single affiliate news website, and doing it repeatedly day after day, and really driving home this false message of Biden's fitness for office based on these video clips.
And by the way, let me just show you this. They did a huge fundraiser, about $30 million fundraiser in L.A. with actual celebrities, not Trump's version of them. And there is this moment where Biden is waving to the audience. This is a 9 for my director here. He's waving to the audience, and he stops to really greet the crowd, and then Obama comes over to him. This is now being manufactured as the idea to essentially say, you know what, just give in. You must put Trump back in because Biden is enfeebled. Trump has this grassroots fake support, this black turf support. The blacks want him in. It's not the rich. It's that, look at him. Look at Biden. It is not true. He was fine. But they are creating this narrative, Judd.
Yeah, and I think it's particularly pernicious because, look, if you're tuning into Fox News, you pretty much know what you're going to get. But these local affiliates are stations that are watched by actual swing voters, and they're not anticipating a partisan message. These are trusted news anchors. About 70% of Americans still trust their local news to give them accurate information. So by weaponizing these affiliates and using them to push a very dishonest partisan message, they're really driving this message home to the exact people that they want to reach and that could potentially be persuaded.
And I am old enough to remember back in 2012, as President Obama faced his reelect, all the headlines said he's going to be a one-term president. No way he gets reelected. And you know what they hinged that on? They claimed he was losing support from black people. This is happening every 4 years when it's a Democratic president because tax cuts, tax cuts, tax cuts, tax cuts. That's all this is about. That's what the rich want. Basil Smikle, Judd Legum, thank you both very much.